And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, what you've all been waiting for. Washington Justice facing up against the Paris Eternal.
This crowd is ready to go at the anthem here in Washington, D.C. This is what I've been waiting for, too. Both of these teams had amazing weeks in the previous weeks. I don't know where they rank because I haven't seen enough footage, but this Washington team played a very good Philly team close. They took care of business against Houston. Paris 1-1 in their opening weekend, but some really bright spots for this kind of revamped Paris lineup.
It's going to all be about the DPS, man. We got Exy for the Paris Eternal
Isn't it
popping off. Well, yes, sometimes it is. Popping off a couple of weeks ago in New York, and hey, right. Corey and Stratus on the other side. They don't just mean business. They mean serious business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk a little more about Washington, but I think right now, as much as the DPS are involved in this league, the Lucios are kind of DPSs right now, and Paris has a guy named FD God, which means like, I'm the God. I don't know what the FD stands for. We're going to figure it out by the end of the season, but I kind of like the mystery. But this was the best Lucio I've seen, like in a carry performance, playing nuts, playing aggro, and now we've seen Jexy do it. There's a lot of great Lucios in the league. Can Arc become that Lucio? More of a Mercy. But I think there's enough pieces on Washington that you don't even have to worry about your back line. As long as they do their job, that front line, the tank line, which is only half of what they might be soon, looks really, really good. You should be excited for this Justice team.
I think we better get this underway. Let's toss it to Golden Boy. He's going to bring out some of our special guests.
All right, everybody. Here we go. The moment you've all been waiting for. But, I figured that I needed to get someone that was so hyped, so excited. And, you know, I was actually in Philadelphia last week, and I happened to see this guy stranded over at a park bench, and I thought it'd be a really great idea to bring him out. So, ladies and gentlemen, give a truly American welcome to Benjamin Franklin. Wow. I can't believe it. How you doing, Benjamin?
I'm good. Are you still paying me catering?
Yes. No, the catering is still a deal.
Wonderful,
yes.
Wonderful. Yes.
Yes. I mean, you know, listen, I understand that you have some history with Paris, correct?
I do, yes. Actually, it's a little known fact. I was the ambassador for France for many years. Wonderful food, cheese, wine. The people, a little okay, but lovely, lovely country. Lovely country.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, it makes sense. Well, I think, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and bring out the Paris Eternal?
Absolutely. Give a very hearty American welcome to the Paris Eternal.
Wow. Not very nice to the Eternal here, Benjamin.
Not very nice at all. A lot of disrespect being shown, but it is the American way after all.
All right, well, clearly though, you know, there's so many amazing fans here in the anthem. You know, they're excited for this next team. But I want to get your prediction. Who do you think is going to win?
I didn't get much sleep last night, Golden Boy. I'll be honest with you. You know, I was tossing and turning. This Paris Eternal team.
Yeah.
They're looking pretty good. I gotta say, they're looking pretty good.
The Paris Eternal are looking good?
But let's be real. Can they hold a candle to the stars and stripes, the United States of America? I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin Franklin has spoken. Well, folks, it is now time to make history. This is your 2020 Washington Justice. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get loud for your 2020 Washington Justice. First out on damage, number 21, it's Tuba. Next on tank, number 28, it's Ilios. On tank, number 37, make some noise for Roar. On support, number 31, it's Aim God. Also on support, at number 0, get loud for Arc. On damage, number 27, you know him, you love him, it's Stratus. And finally, the pride of DC, one of the best damage dealers in the league. At number 11, he's in the house, it's Corey. Give it up one more time for your Washington Justice. Starters, take your seats, and let's send it back to the casters, Jaws and Hex.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. The Washington Justice take to the stage. Hex, this is going to be a good one.
That's a great walkout. Thank you, Washington, D.C., for booing the opposing team. You know I love it. I'm sure at the end of the day, we all love the players up there, but you gotta support your home team, and the way you support your home team is to boo who they're playing against. So this is gonna be a good one. I really was surprised with Paris in the beginning, and when we first saw them in week 1 in New York, this Washington team, I think they're only gonna get better. And I've said time and again, but I just wanna reiterate the respect I have for this organization, because I went through and I was looking at who was on this team last year, and they've just made change after change after change. And I love when a team's like, okay, we're not good, let's change it. Let's change it. Let's make some moves. Like a whole revamped team. The new Swedish tank line. Lulsish will be coming in later this year. Roar played fine. The damage dealers. I mean, they've just retooled this team, and it just gives you hope as a fan. I love this organization and how they operate.
I'm honestly quite excited to see what socks Stratus and Corey are going to be wearing. I'm going to be honest.
It's important, yes.
Yeah, it's very important.
This sock game is important.
Post that to your Twitter later on if you're not going to show them off.
Yeah, as a connoisseur myself.
A sock connoisseur.
Have you seen my socks?
No, I actually haven't. We haven't spent too much time together.
I got purple and polka dots on right now.
We've got time later on tonight. We'll be all right. The damage, you are right. A bit facing up against Exy, though, his McCree was absolute fire.
Yeah.
In facing up against NYXL.
So, I think we're going to see Washington employ the strategy which we saw them use against Philadelphia. Let's not let Exy beat us. And it was what they did against Philadelphia. Let's not let Carpe beat us. So it's going to be this little micro match within the match of Elivote versus Exy. And is Exy going to get enough support, or is he going to get peeled off by Elivote? That kind of back and forth. But Overwatch is a game with these tiny little micro fights within the overall macro of the game. And that is going to be a fun one to watch. We're going to kick it off on one of my favorite maps. It is Ilios.
Do you know what's on Ilios? A big old pit in the center.
That's right. You better be watching out for FD God, because he's looking for those environmentals. One of the most fun Lucios I've ever had the privilege of watching play. Like I said, man, it's like if a Reddit Lucio was actually good, is how he plays. A little different style than Arc. We think of Arc as Captain Consistent, maybe a little more conservative in his play, so clashing styles come to bear on our very first map. I don't think they're going to stay on these sims. This is very similar to the old Lucio rollouts, where you just use a teleporter and then get your guy a little bit closer. It's all about the mid-fight.
Crowd is definitely behind Washington. You can hear them so excited to get this match underway. They've got an hip on the Moira respectively. We've got a Sim coming out, Corey and Tuba on the Doomfist and the Reaper. First to the point though with Paris is actually just teleport them forwards. Ilios going to have a little bit of an issue trying to deal with people. Paris trying to get a little bit of damage down to the front line. Corey in a lot of trouble, but he's going to be fine for the time being. Axie and Tuba end up trading. Paris still manning the point currently as Raw also falls a lot of turrets for Ilios to kind of navigate around, but the rest of his team are kind of falling by the wayside as the first cap goes over to Paris.
First cap, a really interesting composition right now from Paris. Axie's going to get off of the Sim. It was just a 0.1 strat, but now that they have the point, but mostly running the Sigma and the Moira. Not seeing a whole lot of either of those heroes lately. Aim got on the Moira as well, so it's a race to get to Coalescence. Hip a little bit ahead, but not by a significant margin. Oh, the stagger onto Ilios going to slow down this recontest from Washington.
Double Coalescence now available.
See what's
going to be up to, yeah, Tuba.
Tuba in his debut, and oddly enough, Stratus plays the Doomfist as well, so maybe just trying to get Tuba some stage time.
Yeah, Tuba. I can imagine we'll see a little bit far potentially. His Fire and Doomfist are extraordinarily good. Almost goes down though, just punching straight into the Coalescence. Not normally advised, but he does manage to survive for the time being. Meteor Strike still available, as they do make a quick rotation to the point. A shatter from the high ground though. Oh, Tuba. He collides with the main tank. Ben Best laying down the shatter as well. This isn't going to be good. Harbin's going to manage to kill 2 off as soon as he sent everybody up into the sky. It's going to be the big problem for Justice. They are running into so much disruption coming out from Paris. That Flux does so much work to stop Tuba, stop Corey, and even stop people like Arc and Aim God getting away if they have used their mobility cooldowns already.
And Sigma's not a hero we see a lot, but still a very difficult hero to kill, and in the right hands, an absolutely deadly hero as well. Hanbin making his debut, just came of age recently, so what part of the new Paris look we get?
No, Tuba is in, did receive the beat, knocking everybody sky high. FD gotten hit set rather low, but once again, Washington Justice making their way to the point. This is where Tuba really wants to fight. He can punch people against the walls. Now hunting for Hip. Can't quite find the last shot. Hip still surviving somehow. He needs to do something. The Cole is going to stop him from going aggressive. Using the Meteor Strike onto the point now. Blocked by double shields, but he's still doing a lot of work. Keeping himself alive. That's going to be the important thing. Self-destruct on the point as Raw and Arc take the kills that they need. And Tuba ends up finding 3 off the back of that too. Paris Eternal, 96% on the board, but Washington Justice find the cap.
Tuba with the cleanup, but actually really impressed by Roar. He opened up that fight with a kill, got a couple more swings away, working really well with his Lucio just to control space on the point, being a distraction. Everyone's looking at him. Tuba comes in, cleans up the remainder here. This is going to be the cleanup. Always show up in the kill feed, even though maybe didn't do all the work. Ooh, cool. That's a good one, though. That one's, I'll give him credit for that one. That's a cleanup. That's a cleanup. Still though, 3K.
Yeah, still 3K. Only one of them counted according to Hex. Big shatter. Humping sent to the ground, sent straight back to spawn. Easy team fight cleanup for the rest of the squad. Corey's got Death Blossom too.
It'll be interesting to see where he wants to use this. You want to get aggro and try to stop them from getting to the points and maybe try to wraith your way out or just wait for it, use it defensively. Washington comes roaring back because for a while they only had a single kill. Arc in the really cool spot up top, going to get some scouting info, maybe boop them into the waiting arms of Corey, perhaps.
Potentially. Doing his best Tony Hawk impression. Nice little shatter on the front line. Corey's going to be up above them though. Easy hit the death blossom, but they saw it coming from a mile away. Doesn't matter though, because Ilios still manages to come up with a kill. Big that too as Hubin goes down as well. That's a whole lot of ults invested for Washington. Same on the side of Paris Eternal, though. Hunding came with an ult, Ben vested too. Now approaching 70% and final fight territory for Paris too.
Is there such a thing as a zoning Death Blossom? I mean, everyone had to turn around. He had to get the boot back there. I want to give him a little bit of credit, but Ilios comes in, cleans up the remainder of that. The problem is Washington used absolutely everything they had during that fight. Arc is going to have to hit a really nice barrier to keep his team alive. Open Cole.
Oh, Tuba hunting. That was extremely fast footwork from Exie. Death Blossom coming out. Nico's got that position available as well, so he can just throw that forward willy-nilly as soon as he looks for that Matrix. And they managed to finish off Raw. It's a good start for Paris. Taking out the main tank is always a good thing, of course. No shield to hide behind now. Big boot from onto Ben Best, but it doesn't matter. He does manage to recap the point in time too. Paris Eternal, 99% now in OT, but Tuba comes back, killing off Exie.
Moore's going to come right back in now. There will be a fight with most of the team ready to be up in infighting condition. Washington has a lot of players dropping low, but they get healed.
Flux is coming up as well as that Coalescence available for Paris Eternal, and they already take out Raw. Hitch going to supplement all this damage and all the healing now with the Cole just rinsing Washington Justice right now. Exie back on the Tracer as well. It looks like it's going to be all over. They got ults to spare. as Ben Best finishes off Corey in the end. OT ticks through, and Paris Eternal will find the first stage.
As close can be, though, 100% to 99. At the end of the day, the economy went back and forth, and at the end of that, it's kind of like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It seemed like Paris just had the ults when they needed them for that final fight. They were ahead in economy, maybe an overextension on some of those ultimate abilities from the Paris Eternal on the penultimate fight, but I'm looking forward to this stage the most. There's a big hole in the middle of the map, and someone is going to go down it. Maybe multiple people. And also, all right, let's see if this is what Washington wants to run. I would love to see this composition. This is what I was seeing in scrims and all the offseason, a Widow Pharah-centric meta. And Tuba's the guy to play that Pharah, and Corey's Widow, we all know how good it is. He was leading all-time numbers in like final blows. Corey has a stat god on the Widowmaker.
Well, the crowd are behind them. That's what you want to hear. The homestands really give off so much energy when they're walking out. Just the deafening roars is just kind of insane. No pun intended, of course.
It's a lot of pressure on Exy here to be able to try to deal with this combo on his own. There's no Zenyatta for an orb, so Exy's going to have to hit headshots on the Pharah Mercy combo.
Problem is as well, they're kind of corralled in this small corner where Tuba can just pummel them basically from above, and Corey is basically left free. And Art can dip between those two people too across the map, so he's going to be rather safe when it comes to rotations.
Speaking of free, the first point captured for free by Washington.
That bio grenade is now, it's not really what you want to use it for if you're hit, to be honest. You want to use it super aggressive, but you need to supplement that healing. They do end up trading Arc for Nico, but they still have a main healer on board to the Washington, so they should be okay for the time being. And Corey with a ridiculously aggressive position now.
Exy trying to do it himself, taking down the Mercy was really nice. Doesn't see him, Exy on the flank!
There's one, there's two. Elibo and AimGod have gone down, but the problem is he needs the rest of the team to actually get on the point.
Oh, but the Primal is going to come out and delay it a little bit. That should be enough time to let them get back in, and Corey gets a kill as well.
Yeah, he got sights also, taking out Hips perfect, and now it's only FD God. He's going to use the beat to surge them forward, help Exy get a position where he can shoot somebody. There we go. Arc ends up falling, and they only just managed to find the recap.
Oh, McCree's going to need a back brace. The Exy is on the hard carry for the last 90 seconds. It's been ridiculous. Corey solves the problem with a single shot.
Finally, that's right. Look how many resources they put into that.
Crazy. Nico's on the Sombra. The Sombra McCree is a little bit ridiculous, but Nico can play everything.
When do you hack a Widow normally? Like, you want to hack one of the tanks, right? No, you want to hack him so he can't get away. Elivo finds 2 kills. Tuba's going to clean that one up. With the barrage available as well, this looks like a rather clean sweep for the Justice for the time being, but Eternal are holding on still. They eventually finish off Ben Best, and this should be the recap as soon as they clear off FD God.
Well, now you're in a great position if you're Washington, especially great position if you're in the sky, because you're just going to be raining damage all the way down this hallway. You get so much free chip damage in. Exy goes to the Tracer of all things. So what this signals to me is they might just be ignoring this Pharah Mercy combo, and they're just going to take it to the ground, try to get to the back line. They're going to probably try to isolate AimGod, because he's not going to have all the peel and protection of a secondary support with him.
Oh, XC is in the back line. Saying that, trying to look for something. Well, kind of a back line. They want to look at AimGod.
Yeah.
He's taking a little bit of damage, but Corey is basically still free. Activates the sights, might get away just in time. A defensive barrage from Tuba, right on top of his team, but making sure Ben Best can't really do anything. FD God finds a nice assassination on AimGod, but you're ignoring Tuba. That's what you just said. They're going to have to at this point. But when he's controlling the skies like this, it's so perfect, and he's basically free at this point on the ground, but still getting kept alive by Arc. EMP comes through, only hitting one, but it's going to be Raw. He goes down with Primal Rage.
Yeah, towards Primal, he was smashing Q, hoping that it was going to wear off and he was going to be able to Primal on that point, but it is still ticking up for Washington. All the kills coming in favor of Paris. They won't flip it back. Washington is a single fight away from taking this stage and tying up Ilios here. Nico is actually putting in some significant work on Sombra right now, and I think teams just aren't expecting it. You don't play against Sombra a ton. It's been weird comps.
Okay,
all right.
I want to see some talk.
If he gets a hammer kill, this place is going to explode.
Oh, the nano door! Hammer! No! He killed X, it doesn't matter. We'll get a later, Corey. Your lowest one, though. It's no worries. He's got 50% towards the ult as well. Self-destruct launched in the skies. Doesn't quite find anybody, but they got the ults to work with. Raw's going to come through with a Primal Rage, and they still have that self-destruct. Tuba finds the kill on to hit, and now one fight territory for the Washington. Justice And Corey just going to sit back with his turret. Exy can't really get a word
he
in.
can't. He's going to try to go around the back and pulse bomb. Gets one, gets Corey on it.
Hey, that's good. Turret's going to go down as well, so yeah. Corey's kind of deleted off the map completely. Overtime, though, it is going to be there. I say take that back. Corey's turret kills Exy on the back line.
That's so frustrating. They need to stall out enough to get this EMP. Benbest is going to stall it out with Primal.
Big tick. Benbest goes down. Raw's going to get traded, but Tuba is still alive, dealing so much damage on the back line. The Coalescence is at Paris Eternal's back.
Huge
the EMP hit 4 people. Tuba and Elivo get demegged. Ain't got an arc. Going to be on the point to try and sort out for some more time. But the Molten Core is going to be there, helping off and fending away Hanbin for the time being, stalling out even more time.
This is absolute chaos as everyone's just trying to stall out. All calls have gone out the window at this point. He's just calling targets.
Oh, look at that. Presses that overload key. There's no way he's going down quick. Benbest is going to fall, and Corey is still alive and well in the back. OT ticks through, and Justice are going to find the map.
Aim God hits a dart at the last second. His hip was about to get onto the point as Moira and Washington brings out a cornucopia of heroes, but gets it done on Ilios. Torb, a fan favorite, of course. Corey busting it out. 1-1. I hope this one also goes to 7. We've been treated to some excellent Overwatch today. This one living up to the hype thus far. Oh, man. All right, so this is the Torb. Corey goes down, but
look at this turret, unreal turret accuracy.
That's, yeah. I mean,
Must be close to 100%.
Turret is actually leading for my player of the game so far.
It's
a clutch kill.
I think that's player of the day, to be honest. You see that Outlaws game?
Yeah, it's true. It was the Outlaws' best DPS for a while. It was the turret.
Beautiful headshot by Corey. Doesn't quite
so
find the kill.
This stage on Ilios has always been Widow v Widow. When you can run it, it's Widow v Widow. Corey starts it off. That's a huge kill. Moira's not easy to headshot.
That's right. You just give up the point right now if you're Paris.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way you come back into this.
You don't have enough heals.
Although I say that, Aim God goes down a little bit too aggressive, but the point should unlock in a second or so, and they should be in prime position to take it.
Yeah, but now it's not going to be as free as it was supposed to be. Oh, they push him off.
Ever so slightly pushed off. So Washington in a really good spot right now. They can stall for basically forever if they're sneaky enough. Raw does end up going down, which is kind of bad for Elivo. Hasn't got too much protection at his back now. Xyz finds the head of Aim God, but Tuba keeping the point alive for the Justice. Does manage to find the pulse one on FD God. Still diving and dodging around the point. A few extra percentage here and there will do it. So about 25% or so. That will be the flip. Xyz has sights ever so slightly.
But you think you hold him, right? You almost always use him when the other Widow uses him. When you're even like this, right? You don't want to put yourself behind it and be the guy who uses it first, and then you can't peek out secondarily.
And Best with a ridiculously aggressive position. Coalescence forced everybody forward. Beautiful pick onto Tuba. Corey and Xyz have both off site, so both teams know exactly where each other are, and chasing to the spawn doors. Oh, yes, sir.
Push it all the way back. Elivo actually gets Xyz there too. That's really nice because it opens things up for Corey. Now he doesn't have to worry about opposing sightlines. He can just go wherever he wants.
Yeah, but he is in the back line. He has got self-destruct, but he's going to receive almost 0 healing. No long-range healing really available for Justice right now. Self-destruct does come out. Coalescence as well, aiding in this push and almost keeping Elevate alive in Baby Diva form there. His hip doesn't end up going down to Aim God. Good start. Raw commits Primal Rage to try and kill off Xyz, make Corey's life a lot easier. Corners in as Corey also takes the kill onto FD God. Now they're going to try to use the beat to finish this fight up. The Blizzard in the back wasn't quite enough to finish off Elivote as he takes out Benbest. They're still grappling with them on the point. Self-destruct should signal the end of it there. Have been trying to get back into May, but an easy 2 kills for Corey. Make that a 3rd, baby. No, Tuba's there to seal it away.
Some nice cleanup kills there, but Paris was just on the stall tactics there, trying to get as much percentage as possible. It'll be 30 on the board for Washington as they continue to count up. Paris has made some changes. Nico goes over to that Sombra, which was so effective for them. I mean, there's a lot of good hack targets. Hacking a Winston or hacking a Tracer just kills her pretty much instantly. Oh, there it is.
He took the energy of the crowd and channeled the bullet straight into Xyz's head. Both Coalescence going off at the same time. Well, the Elivo going down. Corey in a nice position though, of course. Doesn't really have to worry about Xyz for another couple of seconds. Tuba taking out Nico too. still contesting, but Paris Eternal have got a lot of time on this point. In fact, if they push Justice off, they're going to be able to find the recap rather easily. But Corey, yet again, cleaning up both supports, and now the tank's in ruins.
It's a nice support line you have there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Should be a shame if you all died. Exy's going to go down once more. He is not having the game we really expected him to be. As soon as Corey gets the advantage in terms of just the sight lines is just insane. I mean, Tuba's going to do a lot more than the Sombra. Well, the Sombra can get to the back line, of course, but the Trace is going to be a permanent threat.
I think the Sombra is also there to tell Exy where Corey is, so he doesn't have to go in blind when they don't have control, when they're trying to recontest. But this is final fight territory.
Tuba post bomb, whoops a daisy. Pembes just kind of turns around, tastes it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Raw again committing his whole self to the back line, trying to kill off Exy, or at least trying to find him. OT has been triggered as Paris Eternal tanks do end up jumping onto the point. Still a lot of healing coming through from Aim God, and he's going to have that coalescence about the same time as Hit does. So they're going to both be able to sustain for the longest time. Exy ends up going down as Raw permanently stuck to him. And Corey now with a free line of sight. The beat is going to stop him from instantly killing people for the time being, and that coalescence still aiding him. The EMP in the front line as well from Nico is going to stop a lot of people moving around. Tuba's been hacked up, and they can lose this fight, of course. 72% on the board for Eternal. It's not over just yet.
Yeah, better late than never for Paris. They do make some changes on the tank line, and I think Ben Best was hesitant to go to this Winston to try to shut down the Widowmaker because his Reinhardt was carrying in the early fights, but they do make some changes. You saw the tanks pay a lot more attention to Corey there, so he didn't have free reign over the points. We are in the final fight. Next fight winner will win Ilios and take a 1-0 lead in the series.
Playing on the low ground, still hunting. Tuba's minuscule head just managed to dodge it, but now look, Tuba's straight on top of him. Ark's going to be able to get on the point there to make sure overtime does come through. Corey with one, Corey with another. He finds the D-Mech as well. A nice little body shot onto FD God does mean he's going to have to play a little bit more safe, but XD has now found him out. Bembest with the ult, but Raw! XD and FD God end up going down. Man advantage now for the Justice as they do make themselves known on the point. The Coalescence is going to help keep Hip alive, but the rest of his team a little bit worse for wear. Corey does fall off the map though, and Hip finds two.
Yeah, Exy's going to respawn, and he's going to be able to cover this point as Hip is going to be able to clean this one up. It's desperation time for the Justice.
If Corey stayed alive, but I want to know what happened there. He just fell off the map. They're going to be able to stall out for some additional time, but it's not going to be enough. The Eternal take the first map in the series.
Very important for Paris to come out, and this crowd's getting a little bit quiet right now. It is control, and it was very back and forth, but the tank lines for both teams made adjustments to deal with the Widows. And man, I was impressed with Roar. I was impressed with Ben Best's switch. You gotta give your Widows some help when these fights are going on like that. It's only 1-0. We got plenty more Overwatch on the other side of the break.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
the breakout star on this squad was Exi. Just went off on hit scan.
Look at that damage. Oh my goodness.
Tries to chase him down.
That is
filthy stuff. I mean, the double ding and make it 3.
He's definitely a god.
Here we go. This is what you wanted to see.
Matt, this is just one of 3 players coming from that Element Mystic squad, and he's already made a splash. This McCree is looking good.
That guy is absolutely insane on the McCree. Couldn't quite stand up to Corey on the Widow, but when he gets his hand on that Cowboy, oh boy, does he put on a show.
What a debut that he had in our first week, instantly making a name for himself in the Overwatch League. And what both of these teams have, and what I think we're going to see what the top teams in this league eventually have, is a DPS that demands a response. And I think you're seeing some of the lower level teams that we don't think are very good. They don't have a DPS that you have to respond to. These guys, if you let them do what they want, game over. You have to put pressure on both of them because they will straight up just click heads and win games for you.
Stone Cold Killer versus the guy that will definitely call you back.
Yeah. So
Same-ish crew accuracy. Look at the Deadeye kills though. Xy's just getting so much more value off this. Of course, Deadeye, more often than not, relies a lot on your Lucio speeding you, Ryan, or just anybody that can interrupt a shield. That's one of the reasons why they performed so well in the New York homestand.
Right, and I think it's kind of an unfair comparison for Corey because I'd say his McCree is like his 3rd or 4th best hero. I got his Widow and Hanzo above his McCree, really. His Widow and Hanzo are just magnifique. And Nexi's best hero, I think, is probably his McCree. So, you know, Corey being able to put up stats with what I think is, like, in the very small sample, one of the best McCrees we have in the league, as his 3rd or 4th best hero, is still pretty impressive. So, look, I know that the crowd's a little bit down. You went down 0-1 and you want something to cheer for, but it's control, so nah, whatever. And it was close. It was super close.
Looks like we got a sub coming in. Tuba's taking a little seat out back. Stratus sitting up in the hot seat now.
It's one of my favorite moments from Season 2. Takes off the sunglasses. Only for another pair of sunglasses to be on underneath. Stratus has all the personality in the world. Fun to watch. He's going to put on his real glasses, help him aim. Yeah, this is the DPS duo that I expected to be playing most of the time. I think Tuba is going to be that specialist for control maps. His Pharah is probably the best Pharah they have on the team, and that's fine. I think you're going to see a lot of different heroes come out as the league evolves into different rule sets as we go on, as the year goes. Speaking of going, we're going to go to the Temple of Anubis.
You're still with me, audience. Washington Justice aren't out of this just yet. They're going to start out on defense. Paris Eternal on offense.
The double tank defense. This is a brick wall of a defense right now. You're going to have double shields. Arc is going to play the Brigida. Aim God going to pump all that damage. Stratus locks him up, and then it's just about Corey trying to hit arrows. That's what this composition is built around, that they are going to be stout, and they're going to give Corey all the protection and shielding in the world.
The brawling potential is insane as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, Paris, they want to run over Orisa. That's the best kind of counter. You walk past her shield, start battering her. But the problem is, what happens? Well, you run into not only a Ryan, but now a Brig too, which is also healing the rest of the team.
Yeah, the Brig just healing everybody, and also Hanzo's best at like mid to even close range. You know, he's not the best long range hero. Hit an early sleep, but both teams running this Hanzo, so they're going to hit sonic arrows. They're going to know where each other are. But look, Anubis is kind of figured out. Most teams are going to try to go left side room. You use the wall to get in there. You wait for the wall to come off cooldown, and then you use the wall again.
This is going to be where they really stand up to them. This is kind of Washington's wheelhouse right now because they want to have Arc up on the front line. They want to have Raw too. You've got to be careful, Hexy.
That was a millimeter away from being a headshot.
Corey can see it. Kind of baiting them in almost. Corey's going to have to be a little bit careful. He hasn't got any cooldowns left, and Exy finds his head, pins him up against the wall. He is going to go down. But Elivo does find a kill onto hit. Very good start. Now they have to rely on FD God for the heals. But Elivo falling to the bad news. Only one shield stands their way now. Raw gets run over as well. Heals or not. Paris Eternal holding W. They move towards this first point.
No permanent progress. This one is over. It's just going to be Stratus getting cleaned up there. You got to give the Paris Eternal a lot of credit there. I mean, the Exy hit all the shots that he needed to on the Hanzo. Hanbin was there, and you know, good healing out of him and FD God. Now let's take a look at the ultimate situation, because oftentimes the winning team on the first map is going to have a big advantage, and they can use that to roll into these second points. Corey, did he switch and then switch back? Okay, Corey resets his ultimate, no Dragon. Meanwhile, Xy's gonna have his Dragon Strike available soon. Nano incoming as well. I think you Nano bend fast, then you, oh, Paris is in a great spot right here. It's all about execution.
Oh, that's a good pick.
That's perfect.
A couple of Storm Arrow shots straight into Kit.
They just go home. Look, Assault is one of those maps that, like, if you get picked going in, it's over. You just back up immediately because you need to ace this as the offense. The defenders are spawning right there. You have to be so much better on offense than defense to actually complete Assault. So Paris is going to wait until they have all of their combos, nearly 6 ultimates on board. So now it's just order of operations and execution here. Can you get a nice Blizzard into a Dragon Strike maybe? They self-destruct. Paris has everything at their disposal. Just want to see the execution.
They're taking a lot of damage. There's the Nano. Beautiful lead by Elivo. Goodbye, Dragons for Exy. Now they can just basically move on forward with immunity as Bembes was nanoed. Oh, the what? Oh, absolutely not. Denied completely. Stratus read him like a book. Corey does end up going down, however, to Exy, so it's a good shot, but the reverse shatter from Raw is going to be enough for them to hold on for now.
It's going to send him scurrying on back home. And Washington is able to hold strong. And here's the thing. They ate the Dragon. Blizzard came out. Shatter came out. Nano came out. I believe Barrier came out. Paris used everything and got absolutely nothing out of it.
Here's the shadow that we were waiting for. That wall being up there. It's like, oh, no shield. Yeah, could you drop wall real fast? Oh, thanks. Easy, please.
Very nice. Four's been playing exceptionally well. It looked like he was getting beat up on one game, but that was part of their strategy.
Dragon's on the side.
Just pushes him through the room.
Does indeed. It's actually kind of smart there. Bembes actually backed into the Dragons to take a little bit of extra additional damage there because it doesn't charge Corey's ult, but it gives a lot of ult charge to his supports.
You see Corey's POV, DPS role star, voted on by his peers. And he really only had a stage to play DPS.
Coming up big, self-destruct's gonna come in as well. How are they gonna stop it? That bomb goes off. Nico slaving on the job. Ends up getting finished off by Ilios. A good ult so far for the Justice. Plus they have managed to back up onto here. Plus Stratus is probably gonna have Blizzard as well. Paris Eternal, again, used quite a lot in these fights.
Yeah, right now Washington's in a fine spot. I think Paris, you just go in, and even if you get ult part way through, you kind of just junk rush it, right? Or an eco push, as some other games call it. Yeah. So, because you're probably not going to win this fight on a Dragon Strike alone. I mean, I can almost guarantee you're not going to win the fight on a Dragon Strike alone. However, Washington did end up committing a lot. The one great thing for Washington, though, is that Stratus should have his Blizzard up. And Blizzard covers his entire point. It's so good on Assault maps.
You can just end it rather quick and cleanly. Exy now trying to set up, like you said, the Dragon Strike. Really the only tool they have right now.
Well, Ellie's just waiting to eat it.
Oh, he is. He's waiting around that corner. He's got Sonic Arrow in a couple of seconds. There's the Dragon Strike. Didn't quite eat it, but the Lucio's going to help everybody escape. Nano boost onto the front line. Raw looking rather beefy. Shadow on the side. Hits the Ana in the back too. Ain't God. Not healing anybody anymore. He's going to back off rather swiftly.
They're just looking for a stall out now, too. I mean, right now, Paris is trying to die. They are trying to run in and get killed because they know that one is over immediately. As I said, the offense has to play perfectly for a long time to finish out Assault maps, especially on second point.
They used only 2 ults as well, the Shatter, and then they used the Nano, obviously, to build up towards that Shatter.
Yeah.
They have Dragons and Blizzard to rely on now.
The economics look really good for the Washington Justice on their defense. It seems like they're calling it out in advance. Guys, only use this, only use this. We'll make adjustments if we have to, but these fights have been ended so quickly with their use of ultimates that they've never had to really adjust their plan. So this one's like, use Blizzard if we have to, but we'll see if we can get opening picks and maybe save it.
I know, Exy's on the creep. Oh, and he's found Corey. Knew exactly where he's hiding. Fast spawns though for the Justice, plus you can use that Dragon Strike from spawn if you need to. Beat comes in, but any foe says not today. FD God and Hips, and all the way back, and now...
Yeah, later, Doc. That's over.
And 15 seconds remains. That's one clean fight and maybe a scrappy one at the end.
And Washington has all the defensive tools you could possibly want. Again, the economics working so well in their favor. They get the 2 kills there, and the 2 kills were on, I think, a sound barrier team, too, because this gets launched up, and I think FD God hits barrier during this, and it doesn't do enough to save his life or Hip's life. That's a barrier that they would have loved to have. Justice, oh,
Dragons
no!
as well, FD God. Doesn't quite make it out alive. Aimgod goes down, but
that's rough. But it
doesn't matter
should
really.
be okay.
They got the delay tag.
Yeah, the wall will buy them time. Arc is going to have his barrier. And with Hip going down, Paris has to go though. Like, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. This is really close. Okay, Paris can back up. With 20 seconds left, it's going to feel kind of scuffed, though. It's going to feel like a scuffed push, but now Paris has all the check marks they need. They would have loved to have that barrier back, but you got to go with what they got. 5 ultimates. I don't know. It's so hard to get in. They're going to get walled off here. They have to have a plan of who's going to touch the point. I would send FD God on one side and everyone else somewhere else.
They got the Nano. Nano goes on to Raw. He's on the sideline. Same goal, keeping everybody alive, but Corey is the first to go down. That Blizzard doing a lot of work actually for Paris, clearing everybody up. Then Best gets nanoed, frozen up as well. Can't really play Overwatch right now. Launched up into the high in the skies too. Perfect play from Stratus. But Exi killing off 2 is good. Paris have a foot on the point and potentially 33% as well.
Yeah, nice. Hotman is able to use his self-destruct. That's just get a new mech, but he goes down before he can remech.
Exi with 3 kills though. Dragon Strike coming out from Corey. Exi rolling straight into it. OT ticking down. Someone has to touch, but no one can. Washington Justice hold off Paris Eternal on what was almost an instant cap on first point too.
I mean, that second point defense was just perfect because they were winning fights quickly and decisively, and it felt like they were always in the economic lead. They had the ultimate advantage almost every single time. They were doling out the ultimates, and I think the big pivot point is when Paris tried to attack. They used 5 ultimates and got nothing out of it. From then on, they were behind in ultimates all throughout the game. You asked about the socks. Those are appropriate socks, I believe, for the day.
Maybe there is lucky socks. There's Elivo's lucky gloves.
They're going to be now. Elivo continues to impress. I've been impressed by Roar, too. We thought that might be a weak spot here because Elivo and Lolsish, longtime companions, like, were childhood friends and grew up where they were the tanks for the Swedish national team. And we were wondering, is Roar and Elivo going to have synergy together? I don't know if they have synergy, but they're both playing really well separately.
Yeah, it's definitely going to feel good for the Justice when they have Lolsish with them as well. But like you said, Raw just putting on a clinic as well.
He's playing really, really well. And you also saw how good he can play when he has to move to that Winston on the first map. I thought he was a bright spot on the first map on that Winston. All right, defensively, Exi's going to run the Widow. Always been a good Widow map. We'll see what angles they want to take. Other than that, it is a very standard composition. Offensively, you don't quite know yet, but it seems like something that Washington would run.
I wonder if Aimgod stays on this map.
I don't hate it.
I do.
Okay, well, why?
Well, you don't get Nano, and then you have to switch, and then, well, you are so far behind in Nano, you basically forfeit 2 fights.
Yeah.
Nano is so important to build up the ultimate charge of Ryan, and helping running people in as well. Anti-nade is so important. There's so much utility that is provided. If Aimgod can get a good immortality field off, though, I think it's for ground and pound to get through this doorway, and then to use this mobility to take away some of their high ground, which is why I don't think BAP is terrible on Anubis, because you get that automatic high ground with the boots. Well, Exi is going to try and look for him, jumping up in the air. There's a mortality field down. Look at that massive nade in the front. Raw, Elivo, and Aimgod going purple. Bembest doing a good job hitting those fire strikes. Already near Shatter. Raw's 40% behind.
I know, but look at all this healing. They're going to have window immediately. Aimgod is going to have the amplification matrix, amplifies damage and healing. They're going to set it up right here, probably.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's been set up straight in front of Bembest. Bembest shield melting instantly, but he's still alive. Not for long, as Elivo does find a nice little cheeky angle on it. Both snipers now dueling out. Exi finds a body shot to Corey. The rest is history, though. Exi, this whole time, was dueling out with Corey. Corey was basically the bait the entire time.
I mean, it's just that amplification matrix right there. It works so well with an Orisa who's just sitting behind it, pumping that chain gun through it. You can cut down Mei walls, you can do so much with it, and you're going to, it's one of the only ultimates that can beat Ana to the punch there, because Ana's ult charges really quick. BAP's ult charges at what I would call a broken rate.
Yeah, something like that.
Corey gets a nice opening kill, but Nico takes out Corey. It's almost like you kind of just call it off now. Yeah, disengage.
Might as well. You have 5 minutes in the time bank to get 33%.
To 33%, yeah, you're right. So it can be very difficult to capture a full-on point, but some teams have found success on Assault consistently by just going at it, looking at it like we have to win Assault 3 times. Let's get a third, let's get a third, let's get a third.
It's looking good for Washington's ult bank as well. Blizzard, Shatter, they got Beat coming online rather soon as well. Raw sent to the skies. Nice little attempted boot there by FD God. Raw gets sent into the front line. That Shadow going a little bit too wide. Straight into Bembes' shield. Bembes was nanoed though, so it was a rather risky play to say the least. Nico takes the kill. Panzo's now joining out, but Corey just wants to build ult here. Like you said before, you just reset, it's not a problem. We have ults, we'll go next fight.
Yep. So I think right now Washington has to take a little damage before the next fight and get Nano up because they know, and Nano just came out on the other side. So that's the one thing that you are certain of tracking ults. You know Paris just used Nano Boost. So if you can get a one-on-one with your tanks and you Nano Roar into this, you're going to have the advantage that should give you an opening you need to get Stratus and Corey closer to the point for a Blizzard and Dragon Strike.
Let's see if they can set that up. Anubis just kind of checking it right now. Dragons are going to come out through the wall. Only a little bit of extra damage down. Beautiful disengage here too.
That's Nico's Blizzard and it gets nothing.
Yeah, Blizzard a little haphazardly used. Corey though with a death on the sidelines. Hanbin did manage to jump on him rather quickly. Now Engon can't heal the walls in front of him, but it doesn't matter because Raw is nanoed. And Raw is just heading for your backline. Charges straight towards them as well. They just need to get on the point. They have 3.5 minutes too. Dragon Strike from spawn as Nico changes over to Doomfist.
Well, they gotta get kills over. Oh, the Dragon Strike!
They need to touch! They get off the point for not even a split second. Lucio steps his little skate on. Instant cap for Washington as they tie the series up, one apiece.
That's all it takes though, just a moment, and the smiles are on stage and they are littering the arena as well as the fans get to their feet, happy to see their Justice tie it up. 1-1 going into the half. Let's see what our desk in LA has to say as we go to a game break. See you on the other side.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rank up with America's first and only nationwide 5G network. And by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, it's 1-1 and the home team is doing their best to impress their home crowd right now with a little help of a good friend called Charlie9. And well, you know, sometimes he sweeps in there and just helps a friend out. Let's dissect what we just saw, though. Lots of thoughts going on whilst we were watching that first map. Was a little bit of a back and forth. Was there any player really standing out? Looking specifically at maybe the players we haven't been seeing on this stage so far, namely Tuba as well as Hanbin. How was their debut?
I was pretty happy with how Tuba played. We seemed to get why he was in there in the end. They didn't really want to play the meta with the Mei and that kind of stuff. So we saw Tuba play Tracer, Doomfist, the Pharah even. So he was very versatile, and he was just sort of giving their team a little bit more flexibility to do whatever they want. As you saw, Justice played a lot of dive and that kind of stuff, and Paris kind of matched it in the end.
Yeah, and Hanbin even playing Sigma with the Reinhardt. So these were two teams that had some strategies figured out coming into this matchup, which was super interesting. I loved how this map played out because it was just endless chaos. I didn't know what was going on. This was like Boston, Houston all over again with a little bit better with individual play,
skill.
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was cleaner. It was cleaner than Boston, Houston, I'll say. And also, I have to go back to Hanbin, where I feel Hanbin was immensely impressive. We talked about Paris' tank line struggling a bit the last time we saw them play, whereas today, I felt like Paris looked far more cohesive. Even within the chaos, it felt like they really had a tank line this time.
Now, I was really excited there towards the end because I thought we were getting this Corey XZ Widow battle. Didn't quite happen because Raw just like swooped in there and interrupted the whole fun. Who do you guys think out of the DPS came out of top of that?
It's really hard to tell, as you said, because I think the entire Washington Justice team put so much pressure on XZ, while for Justice, it felt like Corey was just sort of shooting for free.
Yeah.
It felt like Hanbin was pretty much following Raw the whole time.
Yeah, but that's where you see the playstyle come into play, where it felt like Paris Eternal, they're hanging back a bit more. Hanbin is doing a fantastic job peeling for his team. And he's actually doing a good job just removing Roar from the mix and making sure that his DPS in XE is protected. But then on Temple of Anubis, I mean, Corey was so good on this Hanzo. Point B, they held off the Paris Eternal. Great job from him.
And it's also confident to just be able to play the Hanzo right now, where a hero gets a little bit of a nerf. All the pro players, to a degree, sometimes are reactionary, right? They go, this hero isn't very good. Whereas Corey says, no, I still think this hero is great. I'm going to plan. I'm going to get used to the new muscle memory. And really did make the Hanzo work in a time where many teams have abandoned the Hanzo.
Now, you had a lot of praise for Elivote as well, looking at that second
Oh,
match.
yeah, I think Elivote did a great job. To me, this match so far is about the two divas, because I think they're both playing exceptionally well. I think Hanbin is a large reason why the Paris Eternal are so competitive in this matchup. Similarly, I think Elivote did a ton of work, especially on Temple of Anubis, the point B. Both on defense, on attack, I think Elivote was really impressive. So the divas are looking really good so far this match. Keep an eye on them.
I think they were both doing well, but the difference for me on Anubis was just Corey versus XZ. XZ doesn't look anywhere near as comfortable on the Hanzo as he does on the McCree. He's been just clicking heads the whole time, but Corey just had his number, and you just saw him just controlling space. Even though Corey got picked a little bit there on their attack, he's taking aggressive angles and he's taking risks to try and get their team an advantage.
Yeah, between the two, it's very clear that XE right now is way more comfortable playing hit scan heroes than he is going on projectile, particularly with Hanzo, where again, things have changed a bit. If you haven't put in the hours on Hanzo since the change, you're not going to be the same level of dominance that you were before the nerf.
What are your thoughts in general, though, on Corey? I know there was a lot of hype around Corey coming into the 2020 season. Now, looking at his first performance last week, didn't quite live up to being that frag god. Has your opinion changed looking at the match now?
Right now, I think it's going back up relative to where it was before. At the beginning of the season, Corey did not look like the same Corey. I'm not going to say he looked washed, but he wasn't a god the way that he was in the later part of last season, whereas this series so far, Corey's come back in the fray. He's not quite the same heights, but he's looking a lot better than he did the last time we saw the Justice play.
Now, let's talk about people who get it done. And, of course, we are doing that in Crunch Time, our wonderful segment presented by Pringles Wavy. Now, you guys have a very special crunch for us today.
Very serious analysis.
This is important
in
right
this
now.
edition of Crunch Time. Stratos, you're crunching too hard, okay? Watch out for Roar. Look at Roar.
Look at Roar. Yeah.
Yeah, big. Come on. Pick your players. What if in the second half, Roar plays worse because he got hit by Stratos? This is unacceptable. This is not great teamwork. Look at him. He's in pain. He's in pain because of Stratos is crunching too hard. Okay? I know we love crunch time, but peel it back a bit more, Stratos. Take care of your players.
I think if I'm the Justice coaching staff right now, I just make a seating arrangement change where I decide that, change it up a little bit. Put Roar, more space between him and Stratos. Maybe put Elivote in there. Elivote looks like he can take a good hit.
Honestly, it's a break in trust as well. Like, how can he ever trust him again with that kind of engagement? It's going to be tough for this team to really roll it back together.
I think Stratos is going to get left hanging. I think one of these days he's going to crunch too hard.
And you know what? He might have deserved it. He might have deserved it.
He does deserve it.
Yeah, there you have it. Now, thank you guys so much for Crunch Time, presented by Pringles Wavy. And we are now heading back into the rest of this match over in DC. And stick around, because afterwards, we will be having Watchpoint post-show coming your way.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. Big crunch, big flavor.
Welcome back, Washington. Paris Eternal facing up against the Justice. One apiece so far as the Justice handily take Anubis.
And we're able to take Anubis. Of course, we're playing first to 3 here, so a couple more maps ready to go. Here in the Anthem in Washington, D.C., the crowd back to life after Washington took a map on Anubis, tied up 1-1. I think these teams are pretty evenly matched, even though we have some players making their debuts.
Oh, yes, they are. Hunbin stepping up to the plate. Old Element Mystic players come across with a couple of Element Mystic players, of course. We'll see Sparkle later in the year too, and we got Rush obviously sitting back behind the stage in the coaching role.
But it's all Washington, and their DPS have come up big in this meta. I mean, Corey's able to play the Hanzo so well. He can go to Widow when you need him. He can play the McCree, he can play everything. Washington had a really interesting strategy there to run the Baptiste. It appears I was right in that argument. The Baptiste was good on Anubis there. They put down the window, just shred through, and then they get all the kills that they need towards the end. And yes, I guess Paris did jump off the point because it was at like 30-ish, and they were off the point for half a second. That's just how it goes on Control.
Yeah, one little Lucio skips to your back line, and hey, would you look at that? The point's been capped. They only needed 33%, they only had 5 minutes to do it as well, but it was, like you said, just a stellar defense, really, that set it all off, because Washington took first point so quickly, and they had over 5 minutes, almost 6.
It was the second point defense.
It was crazy.
And I think what I'm really impressed by is just that the team seems to be very coordinated, and you can tell that based on the fact they're always up on ultimates. Their abilities are just never gone to waste. But that's in the past. It is time to move to the future, a dystopian future, as we move to Junkertown here. And you know what? I think we might see some Widow on Junkertown. It's a very, very good Widow map. McCree can be good. He can run a Tracer. He can run a lot of different things. What we do know on the defense, though, is that there is going to be a Widow on the defense. Everything else pretty standard. We're trying to think of a name for this standard meta. I proposed McFreeze.
McFreeze.
Yeah, it might be a copyright thing. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Until they tell us no, we can just keep saying.
That's not how that works.
Well, that's why I didn't take law in university. Everybody up on the roof. XC's gonna, I think he's holding down by the Mega Pack. Yes, he is. I can see on my overhead cam. So they're not careful. They could just TP on top of him. Corey using that teleporter. That's exactly what they did do. XC is going to escape, though, with his life for the time being, but a nice little roly-poly. Oh, that was close. Good wall by Nico. Although, one person just pulled out is Hunbin on the side, still kept alive somehow, even making a couple of icicles from Stratus. Getting the car moving, that is their priority, though. The first blood will go over to Stratus. He does find XC, no problem.
Yeah,
there you go. Easy, easy! Oh!
I mean,
4 straight kills.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And what those red arrows indicate is he's icing them right in the dome. Sounds as unpleasant as it likely is. And what Washington did is just introduce chaos to the front line of Paris. And then Paris ended up being all spread out. And in this kind of meta, being spread out is just a death sentence. Able to take that very quickly. And I love this forward position setup from Washington. Still running the double main tank of all things. We've seen some teams try it and fail.
Corey's going, oh. That's a big shatter in the front, though, yeah. Raw taking out Nico, that was rather easy. They've got Blizzard to back them up with as well. Stratus 2% away. Corey still holding off to the side, but they shouldn't need it at all. XC taking the 1v1. Corey repeats. Rather dangerous game, but XC knows he has to retreat.
Okay, so this is the question. Does Paris try to recontest this? Now they very well might. Custa hates trying to recontest this point, and I kind of agree with them.
Blizzard's going to come out, though. Now they want to Bembest, instantly frozen, as the May did target him down rather well. However, Buy Grenade lands on Bembest back. He's going to be kept alive for the time being, as the Aim God and Raw end up falling. Super contestable, all off of that one pick from XC.
Yeah, Stratus is trying to go for it, but he gets punished for his hubris. And the thing is why you don't want to recontest that is it puts you so far behind on second point. You're giving up all the high ground. But I think the plan was, we're going to let XC sit up here because he can escape. And if he gets a pick, we're going in. And he did just that. Then they committed to it. Nico's able to throw it on the Blizzard. Or maybe it was Stratus' Blizzard because Nico's at 80% here. And what was all Washington has switched to a good huge kill.
Sights were available from XC as well. You didn't see Corey jumping over the side. That was a close headshot. FD God manages to get the beat off. They managed to take out Raw. XC's going to come back with Vision 2. Self-destruct in the back line. Is he going to be able to find anybody? Yes! Oh, dice were beat. Hunbin manages to take him out of the skies. Washington Still struggling to touch this payload as Exi manages to pick off 2 at the end.
Yeah, this one is over again, and it's going to be Stratus trying to reset. Exi will assist him. He will oblige him off the edge of the map there. Archetype mid-beat, oh, that's brutal. Just gets self-destructed during the beat, unable to save lives. And this is how Junkertown goes sometimes. Only a minute left for this Washington offense. Not much to write home about in terms of ultimates. Boar's going to have to be a hero on this one. But Paris only has Nano.
Raw has Shadow. Stratus potentially can get his Blizzard in time. Raw sleeping around, but he should be fine for the time being. I say that, Nano onto Bembe, straight into the wall. Raw's taking a lot of damage. That bar grenade keeping him alive though, but there's a wall at his back. He couldn't retreat. And Hunbin will kill 2. Well, him and Deco, of course. Corey does take out Exi, so again, another good start for Washington, but they just need to make something stick. They're saving ultimates right now. They have Shadow, they will have Blizzard, they have Sights, which Corey is popping fairly early, but he knows how far people are now away from Sport.
I thought he was going to hold on to that and wait until people were closer and then have the bead on Exi on the drop there, but he still knows where everyone is. Corey in a great position in the back line.
That was a big shatter as well. FD Gold gets sent to the floor. The Blizzard's going to be near the payload, so it's going to be hard for Paris to touch. Elliot and Corey and Stratus, they're going to clean on up. That should be it. Nico's going to be able to get to the payload, but they end up capping anyway. 2 minutes and 40 seconds added to the time bank, and that will be. Well, they're moving on to second now.
This is the hero moment. The hero moment they needed from Roar. And it just comes around the corner. The shield doesn't get there on time, knocks down a couple, and those are easy targets to hit when they're laying on the ground. And what's great for Washington is they just went forward immediately after this cap. So they're taking away this high ground right away. You don't want to give the defenders high ground in any situation. It's a concept as old as the Revolutionary War, really. And now they're up front. They're in great position here. You have to be worried about the clock, though. Only 2 minutes. You can't really be losing fights if you're Washington.
Yeah, Paris is going to gain control of the payload here. As Washington did end up going to high ground. Stratus is going to do the same thing, trying to wall off the Ana to make sure she can't heal anything. Beautiful sleep dart on the back. Hunbin not really being able to do much of anything right now, but Ingod does end up falling to Ben Best. Thor's going to be able to march on forward, but the problem is that Shadow is available for Ben Best, plus the overshield, of course, from the beats. It should be a rather quick and clean up here for the rest of the Eternal.
I'm not sure where Aim God was, but sometimes Aim God is actually an Aim God, but not really the positioning God. He finds himself out in trouble, and then once Aim God falls, it's Ben Best and his Ana versus just Roar, and you're going to lose that 100% of the time if you're the Reinhardt without an Ana. There's just not enough healing in this composition when you lose your Ana. You have to be the Ana last to die if you want to give your team a chance at these team fights.
Not the big shadow around the side. That's a sleep dart, actually, that sent Raw to the floor. The beat came through, though, instantly from Arc around the corner. Didn't get hit with a stun, as well as that Blizzard used so defensively. But now look at Paris, have all the ults in the world. A beautiful wall once again, and in fact, I think there, Stratus actually walled off the shadow from Raw. Raw did end up falling down to the ground, so can't protect the rest of his team. And they can still rely on these ults that Paris Eternal have banked up. They've got Blizzard, they've got the self-destruct. Ilios gonna have to hit something big here, or help Raw build up to another shadow with the Nano.
Yeah, the Nano is going to get there for Roar. Corey has been a little bit quiet of late here, but it's hard to get in on the offense. That's why he's looking for these grapple shots, just hoping for a miracle. But right now, Paris is doing a really good job of playing behind shields and out of sight lines.
Really early Blizzard. There you go. Aim God goes down once more. 18 seconds now remain. Double kill for the Lucio. He does get taken out in the end, but this is last fight. Paris, they're going to be able to hold on to this payload. Washington Justice potentially touching. They haven't got a long way to walk, but their bodies are fleeting. Corey's going to be get taken down in the end as Hubbard does manage to take him out, but the problem is now Ben Best has got the shadow and they're just running into it. Aim God with the Nano in the front line, self-destruct as well, launched in, and Ben Best just swinging. He knows that they are inches away from stopping this payload just after first. Nico finds the kill onto Raw, the shadow on the payload to signal at the end of the fight. There's no way this Trace is going to be able to survive. They are still contesting, but you need one pick normally, but the Blizzard should just be it, and it didn't even need. Oh, they just hate it. It's fine. It's done. No way they can get back from this one.
The last best hope by Stratus goes into the waiting maw of Hanbin in his debut. He has looked really good, and Paris has cobbled together a very solid team.
They held them for so long at first point. They managed to cap, but Washington Justice just falling behind. It is still winnable though, Hex.
definitely winnable. You can't give up hope for Washington. Junkertown, you can hold on first point, but we need Corey to go off. We'll see if he does that after the break.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
The Houston lads are heading home. You can grab your tickets. hou.gg/outlaws tickets to get your tickets today.
You can be there to witness the Outlaws' first match victory of the year. Look, if nothing else, it's gonna be entertaining. If you can't get there, join us on youtube.com/Overwatch League or check out the VODs. That's how I like to watch my content. Gonna be looking at the VODs of this one and into the replay viewer to see what is exactly happening with this squad. But Washington still a chance on Junkertown here. Look, this is a map that you can spawn camp and still get a good fight off on second. The defensive Widowmaker is in a really good spot on this map, so maybe Corey busts that out. We shall see, but right now the Paris tank line is winning some of these battles up front, and a lot of it I think is because Hip, we haven't really called his name, and that's usually a good thing for an Ana. Means he's in position, he's alive a lot of the time, making sure that his tanks stay up. And the walls have been really nice from Nico. He's isolating main tanks. There's a lot of time that Roar finds himself on the wrong side of a wall.
And Xy's also keeping up with Corey as well, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if your Widow does get overwhelmed, you're at such a disadvantage. You have to play around corners, you have to play way more safe because the enemy Widow has a free sightline. Because Xy is trading with Corey rather effectively, it does then come down to the tanks and even the divas too. Hanbin has also just done a fantastic job. Looks like they're going full hold comp almost. They've got Elivote on the Orisa, and Roar's going to be on the Rhine, holding the doors.
The double main tanks should have a little more beef on the ground. But it also means that Hanbin should be free to scoot away. That's a huge anti. Ellie's gonna fall immediately.
Absolutely massive. He was also to the side too. I mean, not really where you want to be. Maybe you want to be with Roar. They kind of split their focus almost, and hey, Paris just run at them, just hold click, and that's it. That's the end of that. But they do get obviously another defense because they hold so close, so that's going to be good for them. It's whether Xy and Corey can battle it out. If Corey does win this, he can hold high ground for eternity.
I really like the positioning though of Hanbin up here. He's up top, he's scouting out where they're gonna enter from. He's actually probably just waiting for them to tell him where the sniper is. Gets found out though.
Hanbin basically camping here because he has long range heals with Diana as well. Giving Corey only a couple of paces to actually peek from the windows. Next he's gonna be looking that way. Corey narrowly missing Xy's head with a bullet. So close. How does he hit those shots?
It's on God.
My goodness, there's another one. Both DPS dead. That's what you want from your Widow player. Maybe a little bit more. Nope, holding the shield is Ben best, but he will end up going down with a swift kick to the head. Oh, Corey, you can't lose this one, mate. There you go. Engod can you good. Small peek. That was close.
Well, I mentioned before we went to the break that I think if they're going to hold on this defense, it is going to be on the back of Corey, and you got to get those kills. Look, the first kill onto the opposing Widowmaker is huge, because then you don't have to worry about it anymore. No one can really touch you. Yeah, maybe a D.Va's going to dive you, but as long as you have Hook and your team is not brain dead, you're going to get all the heals in the world. Like, you shouldn't really be going down after you kill the opposing Widow to a D.Va, right? That shouldn't really be happening. And so now, I don't know, 2 minutes left, 2 more holds.
That was a really nice Matrix, stopping the anti-nade going through. Bembest falling oh so low. Hip coming up with the nano rather soon. Can punch Bembest with it. It will be rather tanky. Speaking of that, Bembest now has it. Shadow on the ground, hits the wall unfortunately, and Raw now just backpedaling as much as he can. Bit of a YOLO charge there to try and pin up Bembest, but it doesn't quite work. They end up running down Aim God. Raw is going to go down as well. Not a good look for the Washington right now. But they still can hold on here.
Washington just didn't have the heals. They had lost Aim God early, and then they just front line just gets completely rolled over. That's been a theme so far. First point will be taken, not over yet. White box is where the Paris Eternal need to push to take this map. Corey's going to make a change to a mid-range here rather than long range. Go to the McCree instead.
But you almost forced to by short range, right? There's limited angles once again that you can kind of hold this this corner with, so you might as well. Sights activated from Xe. Spotting people like that was close. You got to be careful. Nico has the Blizzard 2. This could be the map winner. Such a tight angle for Xe to try and do something here. Raw's going to get nanoed in the front line. Rather chunky, is it?
He gets antied though immediately, so he has to back off.
Elibos accepts as well. That's a big Blizzard in the back line. Nico receives the beat as well, but so do the rest of Washington Justice, as they do manage to kite away for the time being. He focuses down one. Strax ends up going down. Xe finds the headshot and another one falling as well. This is not looking good for Washington. They need to be able to come back with something big. Corey, one by one, they're falling. Hip is going to go down, but it might not mean all of anything. Arc with the hero play in the back, but the Eternal end up taking it 2-1.
So this reminds me of one of the last Junkertons we saw too, where Junkerton used to be defined by the Widows. Now the Widows are essentially canceling each other out, and Junkerton has been defined by ground and pound Rhine play. And when your Rhine barely dies, as did Bembest for Paris Eternal, and your Ana barely dies, you're winning it. They are taking it like an MMA fight. They're grappling in this, and Paris will take the lead in this series, trying to upset the home crowd in Washington, D.C. We'll see if they can close it out after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rank up with America's first and only nationwide 5G network.
The view here from Dogman. Let's see. Hits the sleep. Yeah, doesn't get any better than that.
What?
So clean.
What?
And Shadow Burn out in the middle of nowhere as well.
Not the execution. Nice shot on the Immortality field. It wasn't moving though. Under pressure, Carpe. Ooh! Wow! You got too close to Carpe, and that's what happens. Well, Dante down, and Carpe has decided that it is time to go Super Saiyan. They're cheesy timing attacks. Still getting started.
I like lurker drops.
Yeah.
Get them all at once. All right, so Prophet going to go ahead and...
Whoa, that works.
That, you do not expect this. That was amazing. You do not expect the teleporter Widowmaker surprise.
Looks like he was want to translocate forward there. He goes for the EMP anyway. Does Erster pull the blade? He does. He gets the nano blade now, and he's looking to find some extra kills. Genji's scary enough without the damage boost, and that's 3. Easy as you like for 4 on Erster. And you said it, Matt, they had the ultimates that play together, and Erster gets 5 kills to open up the point. We expect no less.
They still get to hold on to the Death Blossom.
And speaking of which, there it is, and Shax just absolutely destroys the entire team by himself. Death Blossom, nothing to be done about it. 6.
They're not out of this just yet, guys. Washington Justice maybe down a map. The stocks could be rising. There's still a lot of hope in the crowd. Eternal up 2 maps though. You said it in the break, Kegs. They really leveled up this year around. Paris looking so strong.
Well, 'cause I think the best players on Junkertown for this Paris team were Hip and Ben Best, who were mediocre at best last year for this Paris team. You have to give the coaching staff a bunch of credit. I think they whipped some of the older players into line. They brought in new players, and we've been attitude adjustment comes with your new players. This Paris squad so far is looking very strong. Of course, they lost to Defiant, they beat London, and now they're going toe-to-toe with a Washington team that we rate pretty highly as a very strong team. But right now, it's their Ana and Ryan play is just superior. And so you have Xe to eliminate the threat of Corey, and they're canceling each other out. It's been equal. Stratus is playing well, but on the other side, Nico's May has been no slouch either. So it really comes down to that extra little oomph, and their oomph has been their tank and Ana line are just playing more aggressively and better, and they're just staying alive longer. That's been the difference. That was definitely the difference on Junkertown.
Well, it might have been just Nico taking off his 30-kilo watch, potentially. The training weights are off. Paris Eternal looking good. They're on offense, Justice on defense. Same kind of comp. No real surprises here. Widow a little bit. So-so on Blizzard World, first point. A lot of distance can be closed rather quickly, and with Divas especially, you're going to be able to get to high ground as fast.
You can see it on second point sometimes because you can take that high ground and get the grapple up there, but I think we'll probably see some McCrees definitely to open this one up. That's exactly what we see on the defense. Washington Justice playing the meta, which has no name right now. I'm willing to hear suggestions on it, but this is as standard as it gets right now. You've got a DPS of McCree and the May. Of course, May's almost a must run. Brian Diva and a Lucio.
Yeah, please tweet us your suggestions for this comp. We like McFreeze.
I like McFreeze, but it's a placeholder right now.
Placeholder, yeah. We'll come up with something good later. No worries. Xe is going to be on the Hanzo. He gets a little bit of value from the Sonic arrow, just seeing wherever he's holding, but it's not too much of a surprise where they are, of course.
Yeah, they're on the point.
Exactly. Stress and Nico trying to get as much value out of walls. That's not really where you want to be if you're the Ana. Extremely low as well as Aim God. Oh, that hit across the map as well onto Corey. Good start for the Eternal. Nico's going to glow bright purple, but Xe getting so much work done. Like, how is he still alive? Aim God ends up going down. The punishment in the front line is all too much as Harmbin picks up Raw. Beautiful debut game for the Demon player.
Xe looking like the aerialist acrobatics we have here in the arena, just getting all of the mobility usage out. And so people talk about Hanzo and when he became meta, and everyone's like, well, Storm Arrow was really good. No, what made Hanzo meta is that lunge. Okay, just that tiny bit of mobility to be able to get away, because wall climbing was already a little OP, and then you get that lunge, and the mobility that Hanzo has now is ridiculous, and Xe taking full advantage, almost Dragon Strike ready.
You best believe I spammed rank on Hanzo when he first got reworked. 2-second lunge, you're like Tracer, it's crazy. Sonic Arrow through the wall, as well as that Dragon Strike to reveal everybody. 2!
That's
the other way around.
That was over.
Yeah, Dragon Strike killing off 2. That should be it. Aim God Narc go down. Corey find 2 though. Nice double headshot. Unbit's going to be able to clean the rest of this up though.
It's going to slow him down.
3 kills for okay. 3 kills for Corey. Still wants to take the game into his own hands.
Look, very nice, but you lost both of your supports immediately. Like, that fight is pretty much over unless you're going to kill all 6. And Corey got halfway there. To be honest, he got halfway there. And yeah, so the Dragon is going to show up as
goodbye
kills, but FD God. Goodness, this guy is such a fun Lucio to watch.
Absolute monster. So many good Lucio players coming from EU. Funny Astro and FD God being 2 of them. Big anti-nade onto Ben Best. He's got to be able to be a little bit careful. There's the self-destruct on top. Not even needed. Nico and Xe cleaning things up. Corey finds 1 with the Deadeye, but the shadow into the shield is not what you want to see. And Ben Best now running rings around the Justice. They continue to get the payload going. 4 minutes in the time bank. And a bit more now, as they do push their way towards third.
Yeah, Washington as a team right now has 6 eliminations. Corey's got 4 of them. Doing his best, but they just need to slow this down. They have to just apply a tourniquet, because right now they are bleeding out.
They got ults coming online too. That's the most important thing for Justice right now. They haven't got a Shadow. But they got Blizzard, they got Nano, they got Beat, they got Self-Destruct. They should have all the tools that they need to at least take 1 fight. They're not going to be able to touch really Hip in the backline. And he can't save that Nano for the Blizzard target. Nano, then Nade, you heal them all up. Shatter in the front though. Doesn't really find too much. Roar is sped towards the back line though, as that Blizzard does come out as well. That's going to be a big move once again. Ben Best launched into that Blizzard by Art to facilitate that kill.
That's what they needed. Finally, they win a fight and slow down the onslaught that was the Paris Eternal offense. Very nice plays there. They had to invest a lot, but at some point, it doesn't matter if you have to invest all 6. You got to win a fight. You got to slow it down, and now you're able to take the positioning you want on defense because they never got the position they wanted on second. They just got rolled. They tried to...
He's got 2 in his sights. He takes out him. Does trade his life for it though, but now Adung only have the Lucio at their backs. The beat comes through from Justice. They do manage to put themselves forward, but Nico and Raw end up trading. It's 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. There's the beat now. Later, the Eternal. Is Hip's going to be able to come back and heal from range? Stratus dueling out with the D.Va on the sidelines, and Ark ends up going down. He's also taken care of. Washington's Justice a little bit all over the place right now.
Now they need to regroup. The only fight they've won, they full-on regrouped and called the fight order. They need to do that again. They can't go in willy-nilly and just start throwing in ultimates. And ultimates are going to come online very quickly for Paris. Most important being Blizzard, which is online now. You can Blizzard and shatter into it and just not let the other team play.
Elivo was left on the sidelines. Perfect free Blizzard for Nico. There's the bomb. Hunbin finds 2 kills. Both supports going down yet again. Shatter available for Ben Best. He can basically just sit on the payload at this point. The Shatter hits the floor, doesn't find anything, but the space was created, and XE finds 2 kills as well. What a time bank Paris are going to have. Nano on the Tracer, Corey taking care of instantly as he's charged into the wall, and a 3-minute time bank to end it all out. Paris looking clean.
That's just a momentum-driven game. They are able to take first points. I think the boop into Dragon just won them second, and then Washington was never able to come back into it. I mean, this is kind of match points. Washington needs to finish Blizzard Worlds, and it's not looking great, but maybe they can feed off the crowd's energy. What a debut, by the way, for Hunbin. This has been extraordinary D.Va play. He's been all over the place. Johnny on the spot, so it were.
These Element Mystic players and coaching staff as well behind the scenes coming into Paris Eternal. Like you said before, they didn't really have the most impressive showing last year. It was a little bit abysmal, but now they've just leveled up just so much, of course. Like I mentioned before, Sparkle is waiting in the wings, one of the most anticipated DPS player to come into the league.
Yeah, but I mean, also you think about Paris, like XE and Hunbin, these additions, but overall, like bringing in a new coaching style, I sense a culture change on the Paris Eternal. It seems to be practice harder, work harder, focus, and right now the results are paying off. Not over yet, everyone here in DC. Washington Justice still get their chance to attack. As long as Corey gets a little bit of help, I think they can pull it off. But they need to get some better play out of their front line here. Or maybe someone has to go shut down XE. I don't know. Washington has different styles. They like to play with their D.Va. We'll see what they opt to here. But both teams running pretty standard compositions. The only outlier being XE on the Hanzo on the defense.
All right. Here you can see Corey's little Rollstar icon next to his number as well. There's a reason why he's Rollstar, his ridiculously clean aim. This McCree's going to have to be the deal maker here. Just focus out Ben Best. He was the one, like you mentioned before, was getting a lot of this work done with the help of Hip. He's going to get walled off for the time being. Perfect. He ends up going down, though.
And now you don't have to worry about a straight Hanzo arrow taking you out. That's a great opening kill, and it seems like that's the strategy they want to employ. They're going to let Roar play alone, and Ellie's going to go freelance. He's going to take out the other team's best threat.
Take a quiet, potentially recontestable.
Oh, they're coming back in, but they're doing the Lucio taxi. Now I don't know.
Hunbin basically got staggered that whole time. Hunbin not in a good spot really at all. Oh, he's going for an assassination on the back line. Beautiful boop onto low ground, but Hips keeping himself alive for the time being. An FD goal with a perfect peel as well. No assassination for Ark just yet. Corey on the side with the Deadeye. Forgoes Ben Best's Shatter as Nico does take out Elivote. They're still in a good position because Corey is still up. He's got the ult too. There's one, there's two. FD got him. Ben Best end up going down. This should be the point now for the Justice.
It will be, and Corey's able to get it. The most impressive part of that is that XE was going on a really wide flank. He was coming into the back tunnels, which are on the right of your screen right now. But Corey sniffed it out. He found him and eliminated him. If you let XE get that angle, you're in trouble. But Corey is playing out of his mind right now, able to take out his opposing number on the way through. Washington hoping to have a stellar second point offense to match the Paris Eternal. little under 5 minutes to roll through second point, but a lot of teams get stalled out here because the spawn distance, once you get the cart to a fair way through second point, is so much in favor of the defense.
A little 1-2-1-2 from Paris Eternal. This is going to come out from Stratus. He's going pretty low. Nico's going to have to be the focus here. He does have ult available. If he gets out of this freeze, it could be all over for the Justice. Haidu being drawn by X. He doesn't quite find anybody, but it forces everybody back. Both Nanos on the Reinhardt as well. It's a trade for the time being until Corey and Stratus take out Hunbin and FD God. Stratus can kind of hide on the side here as well, just dealing so much damage. Nico in no man's land as Arc takes 2. Thank you very much. The payload's still moving as well. There we go. Crowd starting to come alive now. This is what I like to hear. They need your support. Justice now moving on to the second point.
I think FD God might have to readjust his style, and not sure he's capable of it, because Corey's hitting shots on him and he's punishing him. And that's not something that didn't happen to him in some previous matches. So he got very low, and then Stratus able to pick him off with an icicle. Right now, Paris going to try to come in and recontest, but Washington, all the options in the world. Corey goes down, though.
They have to touch the payload. 0.01 meters just before Hunbin jumped onto the payload. Corey has gone down. Shadow from the side. It was sniffed out almost immediately by Ben Best. And that'll be the cleanup. They can't get off the payload, though. Do not cheese it, Niners.
Washington got punished in 2 attempts at cute plays there. Corey went for the Deadeye where he falls off the stairs and tries to get an angle on that one. Completely shut down by Hanbin. Roar goes for the very cute behind 180 Shatter. Completely sniffed out, completely shut down. Paris Eternal's playing good fundamental Overwatch. And look, the ult economy in very good shape for them as well. Now the time bank is running out on Washington, but they've got a Blizzard. Hunbin just seems everywhere at once, though.
So aggro. No, to be safe, though. 3-second boosters straight back onto the high ground. Nice little lead to the flashback as well, but he does get demected in the end. Self-destruct used, forcing everybody onto the low ground. Strats next, he end up trading. But Ben Best, laying down the Shadow earlier on, does still gain control of the payload. And got Nano Boost fading away as well from Brawl, and now he has to just pedal to the metal, run towards this spawn. Beautiful sleep, though. Waiting for that the Nano Boost to go off will be perfect, but he actually gets walled up to safety.
Very odd there. Stratus has made a switch onto the Fist.
Uh-oh, Nico. That was close. Corey now on the sideline. Doofus coming out for Stratus in the 1v1. Xe ends up going down. There we go, and Corey on the side taking out hit. The flanks is what they needed. That's the double kill. This should be the point. No way Hunbin's going to be able to clutch this one. Unfortunately, my friends. Yeah, all right. Okay, Nico. It's as good as done. There we go. It did stall out a fair bit of time, though. 2 minutes. It's going to change up. 3 minutes and 30 now.
Yeah, so they're definitely finishing with a worse time, but they just have to make sure they finish above overtime so they even get another crack at this hybrid map. You don't want to be playing for a draw in this situation. You would like to tie it up.
Paris are 1 map away. Anubis, Haidu coming out as well. Raw having to backpedal once again. The draw came out. Raw saved by the beat. He's got the shatter, but Xe's already dead. He comes through as well. That's a big shatter on the back line, but the wall just in time from Nico. He's just going to make sure they stay alive for just a moment longer. But the pressure is too much from Raw in the front line. His Deadly Vote finds 2 as well. Oh, no. That was close.
He's just taking damage to pump up aim god. You know, tactical damage.
Oh yeah, easy.
Stratus gonna have Blizzard, Corey's gonna have the Deadeye ready. Paris has pretty much the same on the other side of things.
Ben Best on the side. Oh, Corey right on top of his head. That shadow was actually on his head. No way you're going to be able to survive that one. Unfortunately, Ben Best with the Nano is going to charge on forward. They've already taken out Arc. No speed boost available for the Justice now, so they're forced to fight. And even more so at this point as the Blizzard gets laid on top of their heads as well. Look at that kill feed. Everybody feeling a little bit frosty.
Washington put themselves in a really bad position. They put themselves in a corner there. Nico sniffs it out, just drops the Blizzard, able to pick up 3. You often don't see that kill icon in the feed, but Nico just put it perfectly, doing a little bit of damage there, and now they're going after it.
Hey, you might as well. You got speed boost, right? You know Corey's going to be aggressive anyway.
Yeah, that's enormous. Corey was trying to get on the flank, and the rest of his team over here on the standard entrance, they sniffed it out, find Corey immediately. Now only 90 seconds remain. Washington, I don't know, I feel like this match is going to rest on the self-destruct.
All that self-destruct is good. Xe with a perfect shield from Ben Best, though. Is it escorted into that small room so no one goes down? Oh, Hanbin. A little bit waylaid by the wall there. Nico getting chased out. Bembest doing as much as he could there to try and save him, but it wasn't quite enough as Aim God takes aim, fires the nade straight downtown. They're going to get the payload moving once again, but they only have a minute remaining. This fight isn't even over. Like, they're still stalling and the car is inching its way back.
I don't think they're going to finish before overtime kicks in here, and it's because all Paris really has to do is stall this out, and then Paris can't lose this map, right? They'll just play for a draw, but they'll have a chance to close it out. And if I'm Paris, I'm already just saying, use ults here, and then be prepared to switch to stall heroes if we have to. But, I mean, this comp already has stall heroes. It's already got a demon in main.
Deadeye around the corner, Corey low, Nano does well. Does get stunned, unfortunately. Just trying to get through that shield first. That's all that he needs. 30 seconds now remains, trying to damage people from afar, but they do manage to kill Hunbin, but like you said, the stall is what they really need. 20 seconds remains. That Shadow's going to come up big. Raw actually gets frozen in the front line, but still kept alive with the help of that buy and a grenade. Not alive for long, though. 15 seconds now remains. They need to be able to get on this point.
They're trying to get there, but I don't know. Are they even going to have the bodies to touch? It's going to be the D.Va trying to get over the top. Will be able to put some pressure on the car.
He's going to get pushed away. Boots not once, but twice. Elivo, did that count as a touch? It did, only just. They're going to be able to get back. High Noon going off, though. They have to contend with that. Blizzard's going to come out onto the payload, but OT is going to tick through. The Deadeye was the end of it all. And Paris Eternal, as soon as they clean up Arc, and as soon as they clean up the Mei, should be able to take this one rather easily. 3-1. One more person left to go. FD God adds another one to his list, booping him into the pit, and Paris Eternal will take the series 3-1.
There's the only happy person in the arena right now, but Washington takes solace in the fact that I think this Paris Eternal team is legit. Hanbin getting added in there. We've already seen what XE can do. FD God put it down for him. And yeah, that was just kind of one-sided. Washington had moments where they looked good, and you can still hang your hat on the fact that the damage line for Washington Justice is very good. They will be able to carry games for this squad, but they need a little bit of work, I think, on the tank and supports working together. Perhaps this is a little bit of synergy between Roar and Ellie not having worked together. They both had tank partners that they were very used to. You can clean up some of these mistakes, but I think Paris is just a legit squad right now.
A brand new team, it feels like, with a lot of brand new faces. And we said it before, but I'll say it again, Hanbin, what a debut for him.
Oh, it's great. I didn't know what to expect, and I really don't put a lot of stock in what people have done before they get to the Overwatch League, but the players that Paris has picked up, their debuts in the Overwatch League have been top tier.
Already. Looks like we got Alex down on the stage, though. He's got an interview with XE.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. XE here from the Paris Eternal, and it was a great day for French fans everywhere. I'm also joined by Avala, the Assistant General Manager for the Paris Eternal. So, first question I'm going to ask is about playing in a mixed roster. I understand you came from an all-Korean roster. How has it been playing with a team that speaks different languages, and are you having fun?
엑제 선수가 엘리멘트 미스테기에서는 완전 한국인 로스터였잖아요. 근데 우리 팀으로 오면서 우리가 믹스 로스터인데 믹스 로스터에서 경기를 하는 건 어떤지 그리고 연습을 하는 건 어떤지에 대해서 말씀해 달래요.
저희가 이제 언어적으로는 저희가 영어도 연습을 하고 있고 외국 친구들도 한국어를 조금 많이 연습해주는 약간 그런 경향이 있어서 언어적으로는 절대 문제가 없고 저는 오히려 올 한국인 팀보다 외국인이 조금 섞여 있는 게 더 재밌고 저희의 영어 실력이나 더 그런 걸 발전해 나갈 수 있는 기회인 것 같아요.
So we're actually doing English lessons with me, all the Koreans, and then our Western players are also learning Korean as well. So we really like the language difference that we have here. And XE actually prefers a mixed roster over all Korean roster because it's more fun to interact with the players.
That's awesome. That's good to know. Now, this meta has been, shaking things up quite a bit. What do you feel like is the strong point of the Paris Eternal in this current meta?
이 메타가 굉장히 많이 왔다 갔다 하고 있지만 우리 팀이 이 메타에서의 강점이 뭔지 뭐라고 생각하시는지?
저희의 강점은 일단 벤베스트 선수가 지금 라인과 메이가 중요한 메타인데 저희 니코 선수의 메이와 벤베스트 선수의 라인하르트가 다른 팀에 비해서 더 출중하다고 생각하기 때문에 이번 메타는 뭐 걱정하지 않습니다, 딱히.
This meta, Reinhardt and Mei is the most important heroes in the game, but obviously Bembest and Nico are just better than other Rein and Mei. So obviously we're pretty strong in this meta, he says.
All right, and then one last question. Are you excited to play in front of the crowd in Paris when you guys get your opportunity at your own homestand?
우리가 4월에 파리에 홈스탠드 가서 이제 파리 관중들 앞에서 경기를 할 건데 그 경기를 하면 굉장히 신날 것 같은지 기대가 되는지 궁금하시대요.
아, 당연히 기대되고 저희가 이제 한국인이지만 프랑스를 대표하는 팀에 왔으니까 저희는 이제 프랑스의 이름을 걸고 한국인이지만 더 열심히 하겠습니다.
So of course he is excited, and although he is Korean, he is representing France and Paris, so he's really excited to go and play with the Paris fans over there.
That's awesome. We know how crazy those French fans can be from the World Cup last year, so I'm excited to see it as well. Well, Xe, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Guys, give it up, seriously, for Xe in the Paris Eternal. It was a well-fought battle. Now let's send it back over to the casters.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. That was the Coke victory moments. And there you go. He's pretty happy. He's going to play in front of the home crowd in Paris. Those fans are crazy as well, so it's going to be also loud.
A little bit of a somber feel here, as unfortunately Washington wasn't able to take the match against Paris, but they get another shot at it tomorrow against London. A little, replaying of history, as it were. We're both on a little different sides. I believe America is 1-0 in that matchup overall. We'll see if they can continue it tomorrow, but right now, I mean, it's all Paris. There's no shame in losing to a team this good. I think that no one really had Paris this high because we didn't know what their young players were going to do.
Well, what's the player of the match? I think it's going to be the guy that made his debut today. It's going to be Hanbin.
Had a birthday, they were eligible, they popped him in, and he looked like he'd been doing it forever. Minimizing ultimates, getting finishes, cleaning it up. He was everywhere at once. You know this. There's nothing worse than playing a Devo player that just feels oppressive. Like, you can't do anything. Like, someone gets shut down and then he's there. And now with 3-second boosters, the Divas with the game sense to know where people are and to how to prioritize where they need to be are going to crush. Yes, bombs are good, but I like a good old Matrix just shutting people down.
You got to do two different jobs, right? You got to protect your front line, you got to protect your Ryan from the flame strikes and all the incoming damage, the nades, but then you've also got to 180, protect your supports. That's why I love when I'm a support. Just sit at the back, just keep continuing using nades aggressively, firing harder, just making sure you're protected.
All the while having eyes everywhere so that you can shut down flanking McCree's. It was a great performance by Hanbin, but that's just day one. We've got more Overwatch tomorrow.
Oh yes, we have. We've got the Watch Point post show coming up next, so guys, don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys later.